Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today is the final day of the planting here at the front yard, side yard landscape renovation. Yes, today is it. We're gonna finish today no matter what. I have got Mimi here with me. I have got Brenna here with me. Megan's in and out, the cheerleader going on. So we are going to get it done. We have got some absolutely stunning hostas that we are going to be adding to this garden. We have got cast iron plants, we have got pulmonaria, we have got some carexes, some euphorbia. Y'all, I've already run out of room in this garden with all of the plants that I'm putting in. I need to just extend it. I just need to get rid of the driveway and extend it even more. So we've already placed all of the plants except for the two giant hostas, because I'll explain, they're in containers. So let me show you what we're going to be putting in today and just kind of quickly walk you through, because we have got to get started on this project. So first things first, I'm going to show you the two hostas that are in the containers we're taking out, because Mimi, while I show you everything else, Mimi's gonna wrestle them and get them out here for me. So here we have these two very large containers that have been displays at the nursery in the Pines. So this beautiful one, the first one here, this is the Shadowland Lone Star. This is from, both of these are from Proven Winners. Sorry, that was up close there. So Shadowland Lone Star, it is gorgeous. You can tell which direction it was sitting in the pines, but this is going to be about 28 inches tall. That includes the flowerscape. Brenna's checking it out for us. It is going to be, it says 50 inches wide. I don't grow hostas that big in my climate, but Lone Star, hence with the Texas, it's going to be nice and big. Leaves are medium green with a vivid gold margin, and then it will have near white flowers in early summer. So we have got Lone Star. It is in a container all by itself, so it is going to come out and go in this bed. Then we have the Shadowland Hudson Bay, and Hudson Bay has been living in this aquapot for 3 years now, I want to say. We actually did this container and did a video for Proven Winners with this one. I love this. It did get a little sun this morning, so it's kind of freaking out because it's been in the deep shade, but it is a beautiful, like round, almost heart-shaped, corrugated, has lots of texture to it. It is that blue hosta with that kind of that lime green center to it. It is stunning. I adore this. We are not going to divide it. We could, but we're not, because I want it nice and big in the flower bed. And then we have a pinka blue pulmonaria. So while I show you the rest, Mimi is going to go ahead and start pulling out this pulmonaria, because we have several different pulmonarias that we're going to add to this garden. All right, so had to pause there for a second because Jackson brought us a part of a pallet of land and seed that we're going to add at the very end to top dress some stuff. So we had to let him do some moving first. All right, really quickly, let's run down what we're going to be adding. We have placed them. So we are using the Ascot Rainbow. If you know me, you know that I adore this perennial. It is an evergreen for me. It basically is for foliage. It is a spurge, and it is just fantastic. It is soft, it is upright, it is electric in color. It will bloom, but we don't want it for the blooms. We want it for this beautiful year-round foliage color. So we've got these dotted throughout. So we've got Ascot Rainbow. We have got the Lunar Falls has finally been placed in its final resting place, its new home. This is that great brand new carex. It is a, quote, sister to Feather Falls. So we have 6 of those in here. We have the hosta. This is Wrinkle in Time. This is from our friends at Walter's Gardens. And Wrinkle in Time is obviously going to be a very petite one. It only gets to be 9 inches tall, and it has the coolest blooms because they are beautiful purple on like these really dark stems, and just this really kind of a funky shape in how the flowers are stacked onto the stems. So we have Wrinkle in Time here in the front. Now you will see we have a hosta. That is not where it's going to go. This is White Feather, and White Feather is very unique in the fact of when it emerges in spring, it is white. So you can see some of the white on the leaves. This is not sick, this is what it does. So it emerges white and then it will turn green. So it is just the neatest thing. I was thinking about putting my wiggles and squiggles, but y'all, it was just massive. And then I remembered when I saw that I had my white feather. So white feather is actually going to go here in this hole, but it has a very big root system. So instead of moving it twice, we're going to drill the hole and then put it there. So that's where that's going to go. Then Hudson Bay, the one that was in the aqua pot, is going to go here in the back. This is my shadiest spot, and so with that being that really corrugated, heavy, thick blue hosta, it needs as much shade as possible. Plus, it will pair off beautifully with my Colorado blue spruce, my dark of the holly fern, and then the bright chartreuse of the sun king. And then of course we have two, these are just regular old aspidistra cast iron plants back there that will give me evergreen structure. So Hudson Bay is going right here. Then we are going to put Lone Star is going to be where this hole is. So we did have a Lenten rose right there, and we were like, okay, yeah, no, because we planted those yesterday. So we will have 1, 2, 3 of the variegated hostas, and then you'll have white feather right there. So that's going to be gorgeous and can fill in. And Lone Star has a little bit of a bluish hue to it as well. So that will pair off again just beautifully right here. Another Ascot Rainbow is popped in here. Remember my poor hellebores, we took one massive one and divided it into 7 pieces. Believe it or not, this morning they were perky. They weren't standing up straight, but they were perky. So all is well, but they're on the struggle bus right now, but that's okay. All this foliage is going to die anyway. So what we care about is the root growth and getting them nice and well established. Then we'll cut all of this off and let those new growth come in with all the beautiful flowers. Then we have Pulmonaria. We've got oh, wait a minute, sorry, forgot, hang on, back up. Spot On Pulmonaria is gonna go right here. Spot On is the one that's in that pot that Mimi is wrestling right now. So not Spot On, Pinka Blue. Jenny gotta get it together. All right, because I have Spot On here, Pinka Blue, and then Raspberry Splash. So we're going to have those Pulmonaria in here. Raspberry Splash is going to be one of the more sun tolerant ones. It has beautiful, as Pulmonaria mostly do, that gorgeous foliage to it. It is fuzzy, it is hairy, which makes it deer resistant. There are a gazillion different kinds of Pulmonarias. So Raspberry Splash is obviously going to give me those nice hot pink blooms on it. Hardy in zones 4 to 9, and just a gorgeous, these are great plants for that shade to park shade garden. So we've got that. The hellebore that we evicted from its home is going to go back here. We've got an Ascot Rainbow right here. Of course, the Lunar Falls kind of coming through a swoosh right there. We've got another one back here. Then we're coming in, and I have got 4 of the Everillos that are going to go in. So the Everillos are going to go here with another Raspberry Splash right here. And then we've got 2 Ascot Rainbows. We've got a beautiful butterfly that is on the little taffy butterfly bush. So we've got just a lovely splash of color right through here. The tiny tough stuffs, they're hanging in there. Y'all, it is hot today. It is like close to 90 degrees today, and it's just, we intentionally waited till after lunch to come and do this project so we would be mostly in the shade. And so it is just a warm day here in North Carolina, even at the end of September. This is what happens to us. And so they're a little struggling on just a heat wilt. They're going to perk right back up, especially when we put that more compost down and then we put some mulch. That'll really help them. So they're doing just fine, even though they're a little wilty right now. But yes, so, oh, and forgot, elephant in the room. Look. Okay, now this is not planted yet, but we are going to plant this Savannah urn with a whole fun stuff in here. So I will show it to you later, but just know that this is placed, and then we will get it planted. And then once it is planted, I will we'll walk you through and talk about all the plants that are in there. So I have got to get off of here and stop yapping and get to planting, because we have got a lot of things to do, and I am ready to get this garden buttoned up for the fall. And I just realized I have a whole nother hosta I forgot to tell you right quick. Stained glass. right there. Beautiful, bright chartreuse with that dark green edge will look great beside the white by the gate camellia. All right, that's enough. All right, so what we're gonna do, use the Jenny's Edition 9-inch auger, even on the stuff that's quarts or 1 gallons. Just gonna use that 9-inch. It works great. A lot of this, especially in the new part of the bed, is fill dirt. So there's some good rocks in here. There are some sticks in here. It is not premium, like fluffy, beautiful, pure, rich, organic soil. It's not. So the 9-inch will work great. Of course, we have the Biotone starter fertilizer. Use it every time, y'all, even in the fall or the winter, because it is for root growth, not top foliage growth, but roots. We want strong roots. So the roots, and then once everything is planted, then we'll talk in between there, but we'll have the land and seed that we're gonna add in there, and the mulch will be the final thing. All right, Mimi looks like she's stuck. She needs some help. I'll see you in a minute. All right, my friends, so Mimi and I have gotten all of the plants in the ground. So now I need to get my dog off sitting the hydrangea. Come on, out. Thank you. She likes to sit, I guess the ground is cool because like I said, it's about 90 degrees today. And so she's laying on the cool soil, not on a hydrangea. Mimi and I have gotten all of the plants in the ground. So now we're going to plant this Savannah urn. So I am going to deconstruct it, and then we're going to plant it together. And I'm going to talk you through the process and explain why we're doing what we're doing. So this is a Savannah urn from Unique Stone. This is one that we've had at the nursery for quite a long time. It has not sold. There is a repetitiveness theme going through the things that do not sell at the nursery. They end up in Jenny's garden. And so all of the Unique Stone, if it's meant to be a planter, it has a drainage hole in it. Now, if you have irrigation, you can absolutely run a drip line up through the bottom and put it in your pot. We don't have drip irrigation in this bed. We do have overhead sprinklers that will like do a mist, but we don't run it very often. Maybe we will next summer in the heat while these plants are getting established. But mainly this will have to be watered either from the rain or from myself. So what we're gonna do is we're going to fill the whole thing up with really good potting soil. I actually have two. We're gonna see how far it goes. So I have the Grower's Gold from, this is from Sungrow. I really like this. It's for a different industry, but it works really well for our plants, whether it's annuals, perennials, and even shrubs. Like if you're moving up a quart-sized shrub to a bigger container, like a gallon, then this works really well. And we may, I think that's going to be perfect because we've got we've got 5 plants that are going in here, and I don't want to have the soil overflowing. So that is a trick with your containers. Don't fill it too full of soil, because when you go to water it, then the water overflows and you're losing soil all the time. I have one of my coleuses by the garage. I planted it with too much soil. It drives me insane because it takes forever for me to water it, because the water wants just to flow out. Now, we're gonna go ahead and top dress the whole thing with biotone. Somebody was asking when we did a video about the planting the Electra Blue with the biotone, and they said, you know, aren't you supposed to mix it in with your hands because the fertilizer will burn the roots? And my short answer is no, because biotone is a slow release fertilizer. I have literally planted tens of thousands of plants using biotone, and I have never burned roots. If you're using traditional, those chemical, like a 10-10-10, something like that, then yes, you have to be super careful not to burn your plants. With the tones being an organic slow release, we don't have to worry about that. So as I put the plants in, that'll get mixed in with the roots. So this is going to be an annual container for me. So I am planting this for my fall, winter, very early spring arrangement. All of these are perennials. They are evergreen, and then when it comes time for me to plant my summer arrangement, I will take these babies and I will add them to the garden, just like we did today with the hostas and the pulmonaria and the other plants that we had taken from pots and put in here. So I am going for color, I am going for texture, I am going for interest. So we're going to use an aspidistra. Aspidistra is also known as a cast iron plant. This is iconic for southern shade gardens. It is drought tolerant. It does not like the sun. It wants to be in the shade. So even if I wanted to leave this in here for my summer, it would get too much sun and it would burn. But for the winter sun, it will be fine. This will be, it can be up to 2.5 feet tall. So, well, 1 to 3 feet tall and wide. So they are notorious for dry shade. Mimi has these all in her garden and loves them because she is dry shade. So we are going to plant this in the back to the side. I'm going to try to plant it from the back to the front. All right, so we've got in our aspidistra. Next, we have got yet another plant that did not sell at the nursery. This is a Camericiferous. This is a golden hinoki. We had 4 of these left over. 3 of them I've shoved in the pot that's right beside the garage on the new pad. It's stunning. It will be a gorgeous evergreen interest all fall, winter. The birds are gonna love it. I guarantee I'm gonna have a nest of baby birds in there come early next spring. So there was 4 of them. I grabbed all 4. 3 fit in there and 1 is going in here, tying in these beds together. So gold mops can get really large, and so this is definitely something that is a temporary plant for a container, but it gives me beautiful structure and color and texture contrast against all of my other plants that are going to go in here. And y'all, you just got to wiggle it. You got to figure out which side. So I want it to go this way, so that's what we're going to do. Bring back the soil. All right, there we go. Now on this side we're going to put a euchera, and this is peachberry ice. And peachberry ice is a gorgeous rosy red peach color, as her name would suggest. For me in the South, eucheras do really well in containers. If you have a problem growing eucheras in your landscape, try putting it in a pot, and then you can absolutely incorporate the pot just like this in the landscape. So that's what we're doing. I have euchras that have lived for years in pots. If I put them in the ground, I'm lucky to get a season out of them. So, and when you're planting these, you can tilt your root balls so that it's angled the right way. So we've got our euchra in there. In the center, we're going to go with that Lunar Falls. This Lunar Falls carex is brand new on the market. I ordered it from Garden Treasures, which is another North Carolina nursery. They do mail order. I think they sometimes are open publicly, like, you know, that you can go and shop, but you can definitely shop online. I do not know if they still have more Lunar Falls. You can check them out at gardentreasures.com, and obviously they will send them your way. So I ordered 6. So we got 5 in the flower bed, and this makes number 6 here in the container. So again, we're tying in the container to the landscape, right? So all of this will flow together, but yet it's different and unique. All right, then we go to the other side to get my fern in. Last but certainly not least is the autumn fern. This is Brilliance. If you have a shade garden and you are in zones 5 to 9 and you do not have autumn ferns in your garden, y'all, you're missing out. These are the best. Low maintenance, gorgeous, easy peasy, I mean, stunning plants that you only trim back one time a year when their old foliage dies back as the new foliage is emerging. It is simply the best dry shade, because it can do dry shade, but it, you know, it does moist as well. But even if you tend to be on the dry side, it works really well. But Brilliance gets its name because all this new foliage is a beautiful maroon burgundy color, which pairs and plays really nicely with the peach berry ice. Now, as you get fronds maybe that are damaged or show wear and tear, just go in there, go down to the base, and you can take them and just snap them off. We still have a good bit of growing time left, so ones that are burnt, damaged, what have you, I'm just going in and snapping off, and then we'll get beautiful new foliage that you can see is coming up, and there's fronds right here. So kind of, there we go. So cleaned it up just like that. And y'all, it's as easy as that. So go to your local garden center. You can have an evergreen arrangement in your garden in the winter. You don't have to have flowers to bring you interest and structure and all sorts of fun things in here. Again, guess who's gonna love this winter? My birds. They're my little songbirds. They're gonna come in here. They're probably gonna nest in here. They're gonna find shelter in the cold or the storms, and they're gonna come in here and love it. Come probably mid-April, again, I will lift all of this out. I will divide it out amongst my gardens, boom, and then I can plant my summer annuals in here. All I have to do is keep it watered. It has chosen not to rain for a couple of weeks, and there's no really rain in the forecast, so I have to keep it watered at this point because the roots have not completely taken over the pot. I may water it every 3 days, every 4 days, right? You don't want it saturated. You want it moist, but not saturated and not bone dry. So it's as easy as that. Mimi has started putting out land and sea. I am gonna help her. I'm gonna get the dog out of the flower bed, and we are going to get this mulched and put to bed once and for all for this season. All right, my friends. Oh my gosh, you're talking. Look at You are looking at one tired gardener. It is 5 something on a Friday afternoon, but by golly, I was determined to finish this bed today, and we did. After this, I need a week at the beach, sitting on the beach with my tushy in the sand and my toes in the water. Doesn't that sound lovely into summer, first of all? All right, let's look at the bed and see everything. Now, again, my friends, you're gonna have to use your gardener's eye, that future eye on this bed, because it is the very end of summer. Fall is officially knocking on the door. Heck, when this video goes out, maybe it already is a fall. But I keep preaching to you over and over and over again that the fall is the best time to be planting your trees, your shrubs, your perennials, to be doing landscaping projects, to be moving, to be dividing your perennials. And I can do this, and I can look at these plants because some of them look awful, but I know that the important thing is that they have really strong, healthy roots, and they're in transplant shock. We're going to be going into cooler temperatures. It may not feel like it today. It was 90. I'm wearing shorts. It is hot. I was sweating. 'Tis September in North Carolina. However, I'm keeping them watered about every 2 to 3 days right now. I'm going to try to stretch it out further, but they look terrible, especially my ferns, the pulmonaria. Remember the hellebores that we divided last time? You know, this little guy, he got ripped out of his home. That's a spot on pulmonaria. Looks bad. All of my ferns back here that they got transplanted, terrible. The hostas are awful looking. This is why I do it now instead of early spring, which you can do. That will be fine too. But because these hostas are so big and we're so rough on them when we're yanking them out of the ground, and literally like we're grabbing the foliage to move them around, this foliage is going to be gone with the first freeze frost. It is going to be gone. It does not matter. So 4 to 6 weeks from me, then all that foliage is going to be gone. Come springtime, they're going to come up and be beautiful and lush and gorgeous. So that's why I don't really care that they look bad right now, other than for like the video and for me showing you. Yeah, it's not this like grand reveal. I mean, it is a grand reveal, but you understand what I'm saying. They're not in their prime, like the hellebores, the Lenten roses. This is Pinkaboo. That was in the aqua pot with the Hudson Bay. The only one who looks gorgeous as far as the hostas is the Lone Star, because it slid out of its pot beautifully and we could grab it and throw it in the ground and it transitioned really, really well. So yay for Lone Star. But everybody else is looking great. The Ascot Rainbow is beautiful. The Dre's Dagger, which was one of mine that was in this bed, I had dug it up and then healed it in the compost pile. My gosh, y'all, that thing never knew it got moved. It was just doing great. But everybody is doing really well. I moved my rain gauge up here to the front so I don't have to traipse through the bed to go look at it. I tell you, I think the Fairy Trail frescoes, I think they have, well, I know they have darkened up since putting them in the ground, and I see new growth popping out all over them. So they are so happy. The Lunar Falls popping in here with that white is just stunning. And then my hydrangeas rather, that are struggling a little bit right now are my tiny tough stuffs. These get more sun, but Mimi and I laid down the compost and then the mulch really thick, so that's definitely going to help retain that moisture for them, and they should be able to be fine. If they do a little heat wilt is when you have the sun on them, they wilt, but as soon as they're in the shade, they pop right back, like this guy. He has popped right back. Now, this one, he was screaming, I need water. So I did give everybody water, so everybody has some water, but just really, really happy with how everything has turned out. We are going to look at the container. I mean, look at that, just lovely. and that I don't really have to walk in the flower bed with the hose. Like if I'm watering, I can hit everything from here. So from here all the way to the back, I can shoot that with the hose. So I'm not like traipsing through the flower bed and all of that, because I'm hand watering right now. But yeah, stained glass is going to be absolutely gorgeous up and next to that camellia, which hopefully right by the gate, she's covered in buds. She'll give us a beautiful display here in the coming weeks and months. But the whole bed together is just phenomenal. I mean, it is unbelievable, the transformation, and I am so excited. This is probably the bed that I'm the most excited to see next spring, early summer, because, well, I can't even say that. I would say just in general, because all the seasons now with this, and it is going to be fantastic. So maintenance on this, what are we going to do? We're going to watch the water since it has stopped raining. So we'll watch the water, make sure that they're transition well. Really, when you do this, the first 2 to 3 weeks are the most critical, because you're trying to get the roots to think, oh, I need to go out and look for water and nutrients. So you have to really kind of watch in those first 2 to 3 weeks. After that, they tend to be, those roots start to grow and get a little bit more established, and they can go seek the water and the food on them by themselves. I'm not saying you stop, I'm just saying the 2 to 3 weeks are the most critical. And then once we get a hard freeze, then we'll come back in here and I'll cut all the ferns to the ground, minus the holly ferns, they're evergreens. But like the ghost ferns, they'll get all cut to the ground. My hostas, all of that foliage will melt, so we'll clean that up. And then, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the winter. And then come late winter, then we'll fertilize and trim if we need to. The Aurelia Sun King, this will die all the way back, so we'll just chop it literally straight to the ground. And yeah, so there you go. So we are going to do a whole garden tour of this new garden. So stay tuned. I'm not sure like what day this is going to go out, but the next video will be where we're going to take you through the whole project and go through and talk about it and show you the grand thing, put the drone up, show you everything before, after, during pictures. And then this project we can pretty much be done with. We did get a load of gravel because, oh my word, the dust is about to asphyxiate us from this because of all the construction and up and down and digging up the road and all this. All of our good gravel is kind of gone, and it's just the powder. So you can literally go 2 miles an hour and you're kicking up dust. Brenna runs through here and she kicks up dust. So Jerry was able to get a load of gravel delivered. So he's going to be working on this the next day or so, the rest of the piles up here, and get this spread to get us out of the dust. But oh my goodness, it feels so good to have this done. It has been a huge project, massive project, but what a transformation it has been. And it has been so stinking fun to plan and plant. And now we just get to sit back and enjoy it. So that's going to be so much fun. We hope you have found this fun and informative and inspirational. When we do things like this, we literally, our goal is that we hope maybe you are inspired, that you do learn something, that maybe you find a plant that you're like, that's a really cool plant. I want to add that to my garden, because we're all in different seasons of our lives and we're all not doing major projects here in the fall. So again, just fun, informative, inspirational. Find a plant you love. If it works in your garden, add to it. That's what it's all about. All right, I'm tired. Like I said, 5 o'clock on a Friday. Y'all have an amazing weekend or whatever day it is. We will see you in the next video. Bye, sweet friends.